This is the Nomadic Traveler Podcast. Welcome to the Nomadic Traveler Podcast. I am your host, Jason.
And your co-host, Nicole.
Who's playing with her new fancy Apple Watch.
Ooh. Fun.
Can you put that thing down for a minute while we podcast? Or I don't want to interrupt you, you know. You just let us know when you're ready. We'll wait.
Oh, really?
I don't think everybody out there minds waiting.
I've been ready, Jason. Whatever.
Are you enjoying your new Apple Watch?
I am. I'm still learning it, though.
Is it everything that you hoped it would be?
Yeah, it is, actually.
What's your favorite thing about it?
The activity, of course.
The activity. Does it
Yeah.
have activities on it?
No. No, the activity circles.
The activity circles.
So move, exercise, and stand.
What? That's oh.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? Activity circles?
That's what I call it. And don't be mad because I'm really good at it. By really good at it, I mean terrible at it.
Are you closing all your rings every day then?
No.
You're not closing any of them?
No, I close the exercise and the stand every day. But not the move. So it's calories.
How much exercise do you need to get to close your ring?
I need to exercise. I need to quit my job. Is what needs to happen.
You got to exercise so much that you have no time for anything else.
No time for a podcast?
That time. Uh-oh. You hear that, everybody? Nicole's
time
going
for
to
a job?
leave us.
No. I think that once our podcast gets on the road, I'll be able to have a job and a podcast and
On the
be
road?
fit.
Are we going on the road?
Hopefully one day.
Are we?
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be fun.
I am. Are you?
I didn't know that. Am I invited?
Yeah.
Oh.
You know what I mean. You know the mobile podcast studios.
Oh, the mobile podcast studios.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm with you. Roger
Yeah.
that.
So, enough of that.
Enough of that. I'm over that.
I'm trying to get fit.
What's our show about today?
So our show today is about travel and materialism. Yeah.
So what does that mean?
So what that means is we're going to talk about family vacations versus like toys, or how much money we spend on our kids for things, and then how much we spend on travel and time together.
So you think having things is better than traveling? Is that what your argument's going to be?
Having things is better than traveling? Yeah, that sounds like me. So for those of you that don't know, I'm very, well, I can't say very because I have an Apple Watch, but I'm into less things. I definitely am about like having 4 spoons and 4 bowls.
I guess the watch is small, so it's not really that big. So
No, but
it's kind of a small thing.
It is a thing that's like unnecessary, I guess.
But it helps keep you healthy. So
Well, I'm trying.
and it tells you your heartbeat all the time.
It tells me I'm gonna
so
die.
you can freak out about it 47 times a day.
Yeah, so I'm definitely on the other end of the spectrum.
How much does your heart rate make you freak out?
Every time I look at my watch. When it says my walking heart rate's like 140, that's when I'm a little scared.
If there's any doctors out there, we need them to treat Nicole.
Do you guys want me to stay on the podcast?
She's concerned about her heart rate.
But yeah, I definitely am on the
Although I
side.
think it's fine.
I'm on the side of spending more time together, which is
Spending more time with me? That's awful nice of you.
I know,
I didn't
right?
know you
So
cared
kind.
about me so much.
okay. I mean, spending time with your family.
Oh,
Okay, the people you kind of like.
you mildly like them.
Yes. Yeah. So we just are going to talk about some of that. Does that sound good to you, Jason?
I think that'll work. Aren't you taking a family vacation coming up?
I am.
Didn't you plan one for, what is it, Thanksgiving? Is that when you're going?
Yeah. So I know I talked about it, I think, in the first podcast or the second podcast, first or second episode.
I think you talked about when you went as a kid. I don't think you
Mm-hmm.
talked about this one that you have coming up, though.
Yeah, but this is so, we are taking a family trip in November, the week of Thanksgiving. It's the same thing we used to do as kids. We would go to Myrtle Beach. We're going to stay in the same hotel that we did as kids. We would go pretty much every Thanksgiving because our family here is very spread out. And so we don't even get together much on Thanksgiving with our like extended family. So we would always.
Wait a minute. Doesn't everybody live in Indianapolis?
No. A lot of my family lives in Texas or Florida.
The Texas people are coming too?
No, I don't know if they're coming to this one. But what I'm saying is, as a kid, we never got together.
I'm with you.
So that's why we would always go.
I thought you meant for this trip.
Oh, no, that would be cool. Hey, I should invite them. Maybe.
I thought you were saying your family was spread out. I'm like, I think they all live in Indianapolis, don't they?
No, my immediate family lives here, but my extended family lives far.
Gotcha.
So that's why we never had a big Thanksgiving here. So my parents were always like, well, let's go to Myrtle Beach and have Thanksgiving on the beach.
Cool.
So we're going to do that again this year. First time in, I think we went about 4 years ago. We went.
Nice.
So we're going to go again. Woo.
Woohoo.
And it is so inexpensive to go at Thanksgiving time.
Because nobody else wants to go.
Yeah, because, well, you can't get in the, every year we get in the water, but you go in, you come right out in the actual ocean. Because it's freezing.
Hop in, hop out.
It's always like a challenge. Like, who can do it?
That's on the Atlantic side too, right? Mm-hmm. So the Atlantic side's always a little colder in the Gulf.
A little chill. But they have they have a giant hot tub outside.
Ooh.
And so we do a lot of times spend time out there.
I do like that.
Yeah. And there's a tiki bar right there, so you can get drinks. And
I like tiki bars.
Sit in the hotel. Sometimes
I like drinks.
Sometimes we'll sit in the hot tub when it's like snowing. We've done that before.
And you got the snow on your head?
Yeah.
Have you seen that when people do that, like out in Colorado? They'll be sitting in a hot tub and have snow piled up on their head.
Yes. Yeah. So it's a good time. And then they have like the hotel's full of things to do, like lazy rivers, pools, bowling, arcades.
Sounds nice.
So things to do.
Is it a big hotel?
Yeah, it's really tall.
Very nice. Wait a minute. Really tall?
Really tall, really big. Whatever.
Is the putt-putt on the second floor?
There's no putt-putt.
What did you just say?
It's an arcade. Bowling arcade.
Oh, I thought you said putt-putt.
But the other thing, okay, you tell me, you've been to Florida a lot.
I've never been to Florida.
Do you notice that hotels don't have a 13th floor there?
A lot of them don't.
Okay, because in Myrtle Beach, all the hotels do not have 13th floors.
That high-rise building that I worked at that was all condominiums, it did not have a 13th floor.
Okay.
So it skipped one.
That's interesting. I don't know. I just think that's something I always think about there.
Yeah.
Weird.
I think it's funny that they're superstitious in buildings. You wouldn't think superstition would work its way into architecture.
Maybe they could like have that floor and it's like a risk it for the biscuit kind of floor. Like you can go ahead and stay here and book this floor, but it might be cheaper.
It's going to be haunted. You're going to be in a haunted floor. Welcome to our Friday the 13th floor.
Yeah, and they can have like cheaper prices. It could be like, ooh, if you dare to do it, you can stay for $50
If you
off.
want to stay on our 13th floor and risk your life, you can stay for $99.99.
I'd probably do that, knowing me.
I absolutely bet you. You're like, what? It's just the 13th floor. It's the same thing as all the other ones.
Yeah, it's right next to two even numbers.
News Channel 13. The 13th floor of a hotel explodes. All other floors unaffected. Story at 11.
And I'd be like, well, I didn't think so. I can see it. Oh, God, so funny.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, what about you, Jason? What kind of trips have you taken with your family?
I don't ever take any trips.
You never took trips as a kid?
I was neglected as a child.
That's a lie. You didn't go anywhere?
We did go to Fort Walton Beach.
Ooh.
So most of my trips when I was a kid were all revolved around family. So we always basically went and saw family pretty much anywhere we were going. So, and then a lot of times we stayed with family. So
That's nice.
my parents were very efficient.
I love that.
We'll go with efficient.
But you still got to go to the beach.
So we did get to go to the beach. So we would go down there. We would stay like at my uncle's house for a couple of days, and then we would go stay at a condo in Fort Walton Beach. So they lived in Crestview, Florida, which is a little further north, but it's still in the Panhandle.
Okay.
And then we would go to a condo for a week, and then we would stop at their place on the way back for a day or two again, and then we would head back home.
Nice.
So yeah. So my favorite memory from when I was a wee young lad. was flying a kite. I always used to get a kite every year, and I would fly it on the beach in Fort Walton. And I would try to see how high I could fly it.
Like what kind of kite? Like
I don't know, just like a little cheap kite. Trust me,
classic?
my parents were efficient, so it wasn't anything too fancy.
Was there a hill on the beach, or how did you?
No, it was just a regular beach. You just kind of run and get it going, and it takes off. I mean, it's always windy at the beach. Think about
That's
it.
true.
I mean, you get all that wind coming off the water, so
Maybe I'll have to get one for.
It's one of the best places I've found to fly a kite, at least.
Good.
So
That's awesome.
you can pretty much fly it every day, unless the wind's too strong. Then it lifts you off the ground.
Oh, well, like up.
If you're a little kid. So I would try to get it higher and higher and higher and see how far I could get it to go. And I'd have one of those reels, and I had a crap load of line on there. And that thing went way, way up there one time, and I was standing way out on the beach, and the hotel sat, I don't know, a couple football fields, I would say, probably 2 football fields off of the beach. And the kite went down, and it swooped down, and the line went all the way from me on the beach, all the way 2 football fields to the hotel, all the way over the top of the hotel, and then the kite came all the way down.
Oh my goodness.
On the other side of the hotel. So it was like basically all the way down to like the 2nd floor on the other side of the hotel. So I had to go around to the front of the hotel, climb up the stairs, go find the kite, cut the kite off the string, go around all the way back out to the beach, reel all the string back up, and then tie the kite back on.
That is amazing.
It was pretty good, actually.
Was it like just hanging in front of somebody's like window or something?
Well, this place had balconies, or not balconies, like walkways on the street side. So it had like doors with like walkways on the street side, and then all the condos had like balconies on the beach side. So if it would have been the other way around,
yeah,
I wouldn't have been able to get to it because it wouldn't have been on the beach side. So, and then, another interesting story that I just thought of was one time when we were there, everybody started like freaking out. We were down at the pool deck, and everybody started freaking out, and I was down at the pool. And I remember I was like, what's everybody freaking out at? And everyone's like looking up at the hotel and like holding out their arms and like screaming about stuff. And I'm like, what's going on? And a kid had squeezed in between the bars and had his arms out behind him, and he was holding onto the bars, and he was like leaning out through the railing.
Oh my gosh.
And I remember like trying to like run up there, and I remember knocking on all the doors. I remember counting up and figure like, okay, it's like the 5th floor, and then it's like a couple rooms over from the stair. And I remember me and a couple other guys just running up as fast as we could, just banging on all the doors, and hey, your kid's out on the balcony, your kid's on the balcony.
Oh my goodness.
So, and then somebody finally come out there, and they got him in somehow. But it was, I remember being,
what were people doing at the bottom? Were they like trying to
they were like,
him,
get back, buddy, get back. And then like they were all kind of standing down there because if the kid fell, somebody's gonna try to catch him.
Oh my goodness. How old was he, would you say?
It was, I don't know, probably a 2 or 3 year old or something.
Oh my goodness.
But that would have been major tragedy.
Don't do that.
Yeah,
don't let your kid
leave your kid unattended at the condo. So I think things are a little more regulated because this would have been when I was a kid. So this would have been in the 80s,
17,000 years
ago. So yes, I know, I'm ancient, Nicole. So I think they have more regulation like on the bars, and like the width the bars can be apart and stuff like that now. So I don't think it can be quite that bad.
Yeah, I bet not. I bet there's a lot of things you can't do now that you could do then.
So yeah, I don't know if it had. Yeah, I have no idea if it was regulated, but I know now it seems like the bars are regulated so close together. I don't think any kid can make it through.
Yeah, I remember when we would go to Myrtle Beach, my parents would let us take friends. So each of us could take a friend.
Oh, you had friends?
Yeah, just a couple. Maybe just 1 or 2. And I remember one year my parents let us, well, it was usually like 1 year, okay, I would get to take a friend. The next year my sister would. The next year. But 1 year they let us all 3 take friends.
Ooh, that was a fun year for your parents.
Yes. And
I'm
I
sure
remember.
They thoroughly enjoyed that.
Yeah, we all shoved in like a 15-passenger van. It was a mess. But I remember they let us sleep on the balcony. Like I
did that 1 year too.
Did you ever do that?
Yeah.
It was like you thought you were so cool.
That was when I was a little bit older, and I went on like my first trip by myself to the beach, and we went with a whole bunch of buddies. And it was like, how many people could we cram into a room, And we had too many people, and like somebody had to sleep on the balcony.
It's like if we have 10 people, we pay $17.
It actually wasn't that bad because I slept on the balcony one night and I really didn't think it was that bad. I didn't think it was that hot. I don't know what time of year it was, but
Yeah, it's a nice
you always got a
breeze.
good breeze on the beach, yeah, and it was pretty high up, so the breeze is pretty steady. You don't have trees or anything blocking
Yeah.
it, so
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that bad. So
Yeah. See, these are things we remember. We remember lots about our
so does this go into your why you think travel is better?
Yeah. Yeah.
Than what? Gifts?
Than gifts and stuff.
Materialism?
Yes.
Getting a new desk? Getting a new computer? Getting
Well,
a new car?
I still want a new car. I will preface all of this with saying none of this is to be like judgmental or anything. It's just an ideas to throw out there because I like new things as well. And I get
Don't
caught
we
up.
all?
I'm really into new things too. So I want a new car really bad. So
New camper, whatever.
yeah, all these things. I'm not saying they're bad things. I'm just throwing some ideas out there. So I know that we have a lot of different ideas out there. People think differently, and that's okay. We're okay with that. But just some little facts that I've done my little research about.
Do I want to do the facts?
You want to do the facts?
No, I don't care. I'm kidding.
Well, before I do
What?
the facts,
What? Go ahead.
I wanted to say something about Easter.
What about Easter?
So Easter was last Sunday, so just like 2 days ago. And as much as I try not to get on Facebook, I was on Facebook looking at my memories, and I couldn't help but notice all the pictures from Easter. And I had 3 people who got their kids bicycles for Easter. Do you ever remember that?
No, I was
No.
lucky if I got a small Easter basket with some candy in it.
And I'm not saying that to be judgmental. It's just I'm realizing like our times are changing.
My
Things
parents
are,
were efficient.
They were very. I like the way you put that. That's a sweet way to say it. But you know what I'm saying? It's just times are different now. And I think with the social media culture, we're drug into, seeing all these things and thinking this is what we need to do, right?
Yeah, I will say that I went to Easter at my sister's house, and she got all kinds of stuff for the kids.
Yeah.
It was very kind of over the top.
Yeah, and
So-
and at some point it's like, okay, that's fun, that's great, and if you can do that, that's great,
She had to have spent a
Yeah.
ton on it. She got a lot of Easter eggs, and she had to have spent a ton on it.
Yeah.
So, because both her kids did it, Andy and Liam did it. So
Yeah.
it was, they both had big buckets that were all full of eggs. And
Aw.
there was a lot of stuff in there. And they had a lot of different stuff. And she had eggs that were like full of like Matchbox cars and like all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I just think about like other parents on Facebook that are scrolling that maybe can't get that,
Yeah.
how that makes them feel. But anyways,
Bicycle really seemed a little over the top to me.
I know, and I was okay with things until I saw the bicycles. I saw 3 different families giving away, and I was like, well, it's kind of a good idea because it is spring. If you think about it, spring is a good time.
Aren't
to
there
get-
enough opportunities to give your kids things that you
Yeah.
don't need to add different days? I don't
Yeah,
know.
I kind of thought that too. But yeah, you can go ahead and Jason if you wanna give that.
Well, I was
out.
just going to say, what does the average family spend on just Christmas? Do you know?
Just Christmas alone, the average families in America, U.S.
In the U.S., yeah.
Yeah, spends $500 per kid.
And we actually found that it was higher in the UK, wasn't it?
Yeah, we were number 2.
Yeah, we were number 2.
Yeah, UK
and the
was
UK
higher.
was actually higher. So I was like, dang, that was unexpected. I definitely expected it to be
Yeah.
American consumerism.
Well, and when I thought about it, I thought, man, I know a lot of people that spend way less than $500. But if you think about it, there's probably people who spend way less and people who spend way more. So the average is 500.
So yeah, the average is
Yeah.
500.
So I felt like that was kind of a lot. If you have 4 kids, which a lot of people, maybe have 3 or 4.
Oh, and it was 500. Yeah, well, yeah, it's 500 per
Per
kid.
kid,
It's not,
yeah.
500 per family. It's 500 per kid.
So most people have at least 2. So that's $1,000.
Yeah, $1,000
right
bucks
there.
for Christmas.
Yeah.
So,
and that
did you get a
didn't-
number for birthdays or?
I did. So for the birthday party, and this was said including like 10 kids at the birthday party, on average is about $300.
$300 for an average kid's birthday party?
Birthday party. One party.
Wow.
About 10 kids.
Wow.
So actually that was a little less than what I thought, but that's still like a decent chunk of
So
money.
if you have 2 kids, that's $1,000, and then $600 for both the kids' birthday parties. So we're already up to like about $1,600 a year.
Yeah. So that was a decent amount.
So, and then what is like the average for just in between toys? Is there in between toys?
There is. They said that, average for like, when you go to the store and you're buying groceries and they want to get a trinket here or there.
A trinket.
Those little emojis or whatever they're into now. The average for that's $500 a kid.
So there's another $1,000.
Yeah.
So we're at $2,600 now.
So a decent chunk of change.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's kind of getting up there, isn't it?
Yeah, and to think that people spend more than that. I mean, some people less, some people more. So.
And the UK's more. What's up? I'm gonna move there.
Right? Can we be a kid again?
Can I be adopted?
I don't want to be an adult there. But yeah, so then.
So what? Okay, so then if you extrapolate this to like travel, okay, what does it cost to stay like in a hotel for a week? What's the average?
Well, of course, there's lots of different things out there, but the average, depending on what type of hotel you get, the average for a week is about $1,000. $1,000. Yeah.
So a Christmas or a birthday.
Yeah, yeah. So you could go on, maybe one hotel stay for
That's not too bad, I don't think.
No, I mean...
It's fairly reasonable.
Yeah. Of course, the hotel stay is only one part of a vacation.
Correct.
That's
not including getting there or any of that kind of stuff. But still.
But still, that's a nice little stay.
So what, is there an average for like a family vacation then, or?
Yeah, so I also found for a family of 4, so mom, dad, 2 kids, it's average for the whole vacation is about $2,900.
$2,900.
Yeah.
So... if we cut everything out, we're only $300 short of a vacation every year.
Which, of course, you don't want to give your kids nothing, right? Like, that might be a little sad.
Yeah, we're not saying cut everything out, but we are saying that, if you cut back on a few key things here and there, you can take a nice family vacation and give your kids memories that they will have for the rest of their lives, as opposed to a Power Wheels that they will have for the next year or 2.
Yeah. And thinking about, like, we were talking in the beginning about our family travels and things like that. That's what I remember. I don't really remember what I got for a birthday 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and up. Like,
I'm trying to remember anything I got for a birthday ever.
You don't remember anything?
I can't really think of anything.
I remember me and my brother got, because we always had our birthday parties together. So my parents saved on that. I need to get back that little change. No,
I guess you're going to have another kid then.
Yeah, so we always had our birthday parties together. And one year we got a swing set together because it was our birthdays together. But other than that,
that's a big gift, though.
It is, and that's like the one thing I remember getting my entire life.
I remember getting a radio flyer when I was really young.
Oh, like the wagon?
Yeah, I remember getting a radio flyer. I remember getting like a great big giant teddy bear one year. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because I remember coming down in the morning and being like, whoa. He was huge.
Did you get in the radio flyer wagon?
Oh, yeah, I used to ride it all the time. I used to ride the crap out of that thing. Yeah. I rode that thing till the wheels fell off. I used and abused that radio flyer. Yes. I love that thing.
That's awesome.
So, but I'm trying to think. I mean, if I really, really think back, I mean, like Nicole said, I'm old, so I can't remember anything. But.
Well, and of course, we got socks every year. I know that. We got socks and underwear. That was a must.
Yeah, my parents always tried to give me clothing. I was like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this to me?
Because they love you.
Nobody wants clothes. I mean, and I know what it was. They were trying to stretch the gifts. So they were like, let's put all this stuff in wrapped up, and then you got more gifts under the tree, but then really 4 of your 8 or 10 gifts were clothes.
They took like the socks apart. Put one sock in the stocking.
One pair of socks here, one pair of socks there, one pair of socks there.
I love that. You know what? That's inventive. I love it.
I did not love that. That's traumatic for a child.
Yeah, let's talk about your trauma. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so thinking back, it's interesting to think that we spend a lot of money on our stuff, but we don't remember as an adult.
Well, and then people will go like years and act like they can't afford a vacation, So,
That's true.
You don't have to cut everything out, but if you say maybe go 5 years without a vacation, maybe instead of spending, the kind of money that you spend on average every year, you cut that in half.
Yeah.
And then over 2 years, you save up enough money to be able to go on a vacation. So half as much materialism, and then you get a good vacation every 2 years.
That sounds amazing.
So,
yeah, I have a good friend who she does her daughter every year. She says, "Do you want a birthday party or do you want to go on a trip?" Every year.
interesting.
Yeah, and she started it. Her daughter is 7 now. Yeah, 7, almost 8, and she started it, I think, at her 3rd birthday. And from what I remember, I think she's only chosen a birthday party twice.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So for 4 times, 4 out of the 7 times she's chosen
She's got a
to
cool
go on a
kid.
trip. Yeah. They go. So I know they've went to up to Chicago and went to the American Girl doll. It's like a hotel. You can take your American Girl doll, and I don't know what they all do, but it's a little thing. One time they went to the beach. One time they went to like some exotic animal pasture thing where you get to go, like where you drive in your car.
There's a lot of cool things out there to do.
Yeah, yeah. And so I thought that was interesting that she chose it that many times. So I did it last year with my daughter, and I was like, so it was the first year I was like, okay, let me try it out. And I was like,
You went to the American Girl Hotel?
We did not. We did not. My daughter is not girly at all.
Oh, so you asked her if she wanted to trade in gifts
Yes.
for travel.
I said, do you want to have a birthday party? Because I was the mom that did the big birthdays. So I did.
You were?
Yeah. I have done big birthday
Nicole's
parties.
one of those.
The first birthday, I think, was like Elmo, and I made all these games, and I would do gifts, and Elmo. And then
There you
one
go.
time, I think my favorite one was we did a messy birthday party. That was fun.
Whoa, what?
Yeah, we did a messy birthday party, and that was the funnest ever.
Wait, let's
Yeah.
unpack that a little
Have you ever
bit.
heard of that?
No. What's a messy birthday party?
Okay, so a messy birthday party is exactly what it sounds like. It's messy. So the birthday cake is a mess. You just icing everywhere, crap everywhere. We had sloppy joes because it's a mess. Sloppy joes, which she loves sloppy joes, so that's kind of started the trend. And then I had like your face.
I've never heard of this before.
If you
I'm
could see his
intrigued.
face, it's hilarious. Okay, so then I had different pools set up, like those big hard plastic
swimming
pools.
pools?
Yeah, swimming pools.
Oh, okay.
And it was at a garden. Okay, so I had probably 10 different pools. And
It was not at your house?
No, it was not at my house, 100%. And I had all the parents send their kids.
So you make it somebody else's problem to clean up.
Well, it's just in a garden. And so either they had to come in a swimsuit, or I asked them to come in like clothes they didn't care about getting nasty. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then in each pool I had something different. So one pool was like mud, one was Jello, one was whipped cream, one was noodles. I think one was noodles. So each tub, yeah, had something different. And then there was a hill in the garden, and I put down a big tarp, and we put whipped cream down the tarp, so then the kids could slide down the tarp. And the adults actually got into it so much that they got into it, and like we're getting messy, and mustard got spread everywhere. I mean, it was a mess, but they had fun. Everyone enjoyed themselves.
Liam went to a birthday party in Florida where they had a big hill, and they took like a big giant tarp and they spread baby oil all over it. And then they let the kids all go sliding down the big giant. So it's like a huge slip and slide.
That's awesome.
But then they left it on there only one day.
Yeah.
And the next day they cleaned it up, and it completely killed their whole lawn.
No, the baby oil did?
I don't know if it was the baby oil, or I think because it was in Florida.
Oh my
so
gosh, yeah.
I think that like maybe the sun through the tarp and through the oil or something got magnified, and I think it like fried the roots of the grass or something like that. I don't know what caused it. I don't think it was the baby oil that killed it.
But you know what? He's going to remember that, right? When he gets older, he's going to
It wasn't his party either. It was the next door neighbor's party, but I thought it was
Yeah.
a very creative idea. It was big, it was huge. The adults were all sliding down it and stuff
Yeah.
too. So it was neat, man. And they did it for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, definitely. I think that's something that those kids are definitely going to remember. They're going to be like, oh, yeah, I remember that birthday party we killed the grass.
Well, they probably don't even realize they killed the grass.
Yeah.
Nobody probably even noticed that, but me.
Yeah, you're worried about
I'm
that.
like, ooh, look at that. They killed their grass.
Note to self. But yeah, so I I would always
Some
doing those type
messy
of parties.
party.
Yeah. So
Is this like a Facebook thing? I've never heard of this before.
I'll have to show you pictures later.
Interesting.
But yeah, so I always did like a themed birthday party. One was Little Mermaid. I mean, I've done them all. And then, so last year I asked her what she wanted to do, and she picked going to a water park. And
What water park did you go to?
there's one in Greenwood. Freedom
so it was
Springs.
in Indianapolis.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was gonna take her to Holiday World because that's one of her favorite water parks.
I didn't know if maybe you traveled out of state or something.
No, we didn't for this one, and I think that's something that we'll do as she gets older.
Yeah.
Like maybe next year if she picks like something bigger or whatever.
Interesting.
But I'm definitely gonna keep with the trend of, do you want a birthday party or do you want to go and do something?
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, because even the birthday party at the water park, I just said whoever wants to come can come. We're gonna have the day. I did get a cake, which was inexpensive, but we had a cake and everybody had fun and it was a good time. So I don't know. It's an interesting thought. Of course, sometimes birthday parties are more fun because adults can, not all the adults wanted to go to the water park. So
What are some of the benefits taking travel in lieu of taking toys?
Oh, okay.
Do you know?
I do know. So there's quite a few. So obviously I mean, I've worked with kids my whole life, so I know a lot about child development. And
What do you do for a living?
So I work with families and I work with like helping them interact with their kids and bond and just reduce, risks that are out there as far as, the stress that we're under as parents and how we can avoid that and build good relationships with our kids. That's kind of what I do. All in a nutshell. Play Jenga, as Jason says. So anyways, so there's a lot of research out there just about bonding with your kids and how much spending time improves their life in every aspect, socially, emotionally, all those things. So
you mean buying your kids tons of crap isn't what's best for them?
According to the research, interactions are more important. I wouldn't say that buying things is not important at all. But
I always thought they needed 100,000 things. They don't? I've been doing it wrong.
I mean, I know you have. But yeah, so the few things, I found a few things that I kind of liked that they pointed out in the article. And it just says how family vacations improve brain development. So it actually helps your child's brain develop.
Did it say how it had helped?
Yeah, so it helps through a lot of different ways. So they talk about your kid is learning like cultures. So they're learning about different cultures that they might have never learned about before.
I could see the cultural thing for sure.
Yeah. So if you're going overseas or even if you're staying in the United States, but maybe you're from the north and you go to the south.
Go to Louisiana.
You learn about all the things that happen there that you might,
Go to a crawfish boil.
Yeah. Or if you think, you go to Texas and you learn about
steer.
I don't know, just different ways of life from people, I don't know. So
go to California, learn about surfing.
Yeah. I don't know if your kid learns about surfing.
Go to Hawaii, learn about what do they do? Pig roast.
Yeah. So that was cool. That was one way that it expands the brain. Also talked about like social awareness too. So when you're in a new place, you're meeting new people and you're forced to kind of, be more social.
Socialize with people that you wouldn't normally socialize with.
Yeah, which I thought is a good thing because that's going to help you for your career in the future.
Definitely helps social skills, yeah.
Yeah, anything. You're going to need that. Yeah, those are a couple of the ways. They also talked about like problem solving skills, which I didn't think about, but that makes sense. There's always something that comes up when you go traveling.
I could see that.
Right?
There's no bed. I'm going to have to sleep on the porch.
Yeah.
Let me find a place to sleep.
Well, something I thought about when I thought about problem solving skills was we used to go camping a lot, and one time we went camping at the Hoosier National Forest.
Nice.
But we were at the bottom of a hill.
Uh-oh.
And
Did it rain?
It did rain. And it was out of nowhere.
I could see this one coming a million miles away.
You knew it, yeah. And so it just was like, my dad was out there cooking hamburgers, and because we didn't know it was going to rain. And then all of a sudden this rain came and our tent started flooding, everything. Water was everywhere. First, he tries to bring the grill in a little bit.
Uh-oh.
That wasn't a smart idea.
Did you catch a tin on fire?
We did not, luckily, because it was raining. But yeah, so then my mom was like, okay, here's what we're going to do. She got in the car, got the griddle out, got the cooler. We went into the bathroom up the hill, and she cooked us we call them camp muffins now.
You guys
we did.
Cooked in the bathroom?
Well, it was how the bathroom has a little, sometimes it has a little awning right outside of it, and a cement patch. We we sat there, and she plugged in the griddle and made these things that we still have to this day.
Wait a minute, plugged in the griddle. You guys weren't working with gas?
No.
What?
We had a little electric thing, and it just plugged right in.
What kind of camping are you guys doing?
I don't know. This is back in the day. I don't know. And so we made these little things called camp muffins. They were just English muffins with salami or whatever and cheese, and she grilled it up.
So you didn't have a propane-powered griddle, huh?
We did. Unfortunately, no. But yeah, I think stories like that, it's you learn, how to survive things and problem solve.
Problem solved.
Yeah.
Learn how to get by.
So I thought that was cool. They also talked about the planning aspect. They said it brings joy and cohesiveness. This is the only one that I don't know about. What do you think?
Well, traveling brings joy. Yeah, I absolutely can see that.
I see that.
And then the more you travel with your family, it creates bonds with your family. So that would create a cohesive bond between everybody in your family.
Yeah, but this was just talking about specifically planning, the planning of the vacation.
Oh.
Bringing joy and cohesiveness. I mean, I could see I
don't know. That one's kind of a puzzle.
Yeah, I mean, I could see how it could bring joy because you're excited for something. So, maybe you're in the dead of winter.
I know I am. I'm always excited for something.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know. I could see that, but I also see planning can be stressful when you're working with a group of people. And then the last thing that it talked about is this thing called happy anchors, which I thought was pretty cool.
What's a happy
Do you know
anchor?
what a happy anchor is, Jason?
I saw a episode of King of Queens once, and they were talking about that you need tent poles in relationships, and the whole episode is about tent poles. So
tent poles?
Happy anchors sounds something similar to tent poles.
Yeah. So, I can't really explain it as well as they do, so I'm just gonna read a little portion of it. But it just says that happy anchors, he said that by reflecting on our happiest moments and memories of joyful times spent together as a family can be extremely powerful in bringing relief and respite when faced with darker times that life can bring.
That is interesting.
So the thing that I thought about with this is heaven forbid, if someone passes,
you have good memories of them?
You have those memories. You have that time with them, things like that. Or if maybe you're going through a rough time and someone loses a job or something, you can be like...
What helps you to realize that, it's not always bad.
Yeah.
So you have good memories to look back on.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool.
Versus, I guess, if you're always struggling, I could see that being difficult.
Yeah, for sure. And then, if you feel I don't have the new pair of Jordans, or I don't know what kids wear, whatever. If you're kids complaining about that kind of stuff, then you're okay, but you went on a vacation last year and we saw the Grand Canyon or I don't know, something. And how many kids don't have that opportunity? You can use it in that way too.
I went to Goosenecks.
For free, baby.
That was what it was called, right? That's right.
Yeah, Goosenecks. $9.
$9 make you holla.
You can get a pair of Jordans or you can go to Goosenecks 500 times.
Right? I know.
That's what we should, we should look into comparisons as well.
Goosenecks is a steal. There's nothing there, but it's a steal.
Yeah.
For the view.
It's beautiful. Well, there's kayaking there, but...
Oh, yeah, I guess there's kayaking. But there's no power.
Yeah, so...
And I don't think there's anything actually at the campsite. There's no
pool. There's nothing.
There's no playground. There's nothing to keep you from falling in the big giant hole in the earth.
But you know what you can do there?
Sit and relax.
Complete your circles on your Apple Watch. Could you imagine?
Goosenecks, you complete me.
You complete my circles.
You complete me. Anyways.
Yeah, so then, and one other interesting fact that they talked about in this article too was millennials are twice as likely to spend money on smart toys. So toys like tablets, different things that are like electronically.
I could see that.
aligned.
That's from their generation.
Mm-hmm. And they talked about that reducing interactions with parents and kids. So here's your tablet or here's this game. And then you're not like sitting down playing a board game.
Oh, yeah.
Things like that. So you're not interacting. And then it's just something interesting that I found there.
Like Jenga?
The Jenga's so interactive.
Or like maybe Monopoly or something.
Yeah. Things like
or Risk.
Yeah, when your kid's really good at Candyland and always gets the peanut brittle.
Shoots and ladders.
Shoots and ladders is the devil. But yeah, so I just found that interesting too. Versus if you're going on a vacation, you can't not watch your kids because and interact because then they're going to go on a balcony and Superman it.
And try to Superman to the beach.
Oh yeah, so interesting things. I don't know. What do you think, Jason?
I think this is a very interesting show. I hadn't really thought about a lot of this stuff. So
No.
I'm definitely for travel over materials things.
Yeah.
I just think about, I do real estate, as I've talked about on the show before, and the number one growing thing right now in real estate is actually storage units. And it's because people fill up their houses, they fill up their garages, and then instead of getting rid of stuff, they start getting storage units. And then they fill up a storage unit. And then they're paying $50 or $100 a month to store crap that they don't need, that they don't go see, that they don't go use, that they don't do anything with. And I always think about, like, I just can't believe that it's just like such an epidemic that I mean, they're just like, it's like one of the best investments right now. Because when I first moved up here, I was looking into a storage unit at a facility that was getting ready to open up. Uh-huh. And I called them, and it was getting ready to open up like the next weekend or something like that. Uh-huh. And they were sold out already.
Oh, my God.
They were sold out.
And it wasn't even open.
A week before it was scheduled to open.
Oh,
so he's like, we could put you on a waiting list. I'm like, you got to be freaking kidding me. I got to go on a waiting list to get a storage unit?
Wow.
So, I mean, it's just like, I don't know. I just think about how much of an epidemic it is with like American culture right now. And it's just like, hey, we've really got to learn to stop buying stuff and start, doing things that are more meaningful and getting out of the house and traveling and making memories and spending time with family and trying to, get out of the Facebook thing and get out of like, making nasty comments about people like, oh, that's stupid,
Yeah.
Go spend some time with your family, Go spend some time with extended family. Go see extended family.
Yeah.
Go on a camping trip to Crestview, Florida, and go see your aunts and uncles that you never see,
Yeah, too. I mean, too, you think when you travel, think of all the friends you make, too. Like, I was thinking back about that, too. Like, all the family, like, the extra friends that you make and people you meet traveling that you would never meet if you were just sitting at home living
Absolutely, yeah.
I think about that, too. That's
You're not going to meet anybody watching a tablet.
No. Well, you might, but Momo.
Funny thing is that like Liam thinks like Ryan from Ryan's Toy Review on YouTube. If anybody has young kids, they probably know what Ryan's Toy Review is. And he thinks that's his friend. he's like, my friend Ryan. I'm like, what friend Ryan? Are you friend at school? And he goes, no, he's in the tablet. He's like, Ryan. And he pulls up one of the videos and he shows me. And I'm like, that's a YouTube character, buddy. He's not your friend. He's like, no, he's my friend. I'm like, we're going to have to redefine friendship.
And I mean, another thing that I was thinking about too with this, as we were kind of going through talking about average vacations, $2,900, that's a lot of money for a family vacation, right? I mean, a lot of people probably don't have $2,900.
But if you were able to reduce your materialism spending,
sure.
I think it's very doable. Yeah. Like, especially if you try to do it every other year. Mm-hmm. Like, that's very doable. Then you can still get nice Christmases. You can still have nice things. You're just not doing
it every year.
You're not overfilling the tree or overfilling the Easter basket or.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of like
maybe you just get a bike for your birthday instead of a bike and video games and
and everything else,
all kinds of other stuff, and getting 15 different items. Maybe you get one item that really means a lot to you,
Yeah.
and then you put the rest of the money in an account, and maybe you put it in a jar somewhere, or maybe you do something where everybody can like watch it grow.
Yeah.
And like, oh, look how full it's getting. We're almost there. Or maybe you do like they do like at the schools, and they fill up the little thermometer. You know, you use the highlighter, and hey, we're up to $2,400 when we get to, you know, 3,000 or whatever. We're going on a family vacation. You know,
that's good. These kids are so visual.
Yeah,
they'd be all about that.
And then it's something for everybody to kind of do together. You know, and you're like, oh, we're almost there. This is great. Where do you guys want to go? And you can kind of start talking about what you want, where you want to go, and what you want to do, and it gives everybody something to kind of look forward to.
I think that's great because a lot of kids, you know, they have a trouble thinking of the future. We as adults were like, yeah, we know we're going to be in that hot tub. And they're like, no, I see this toy in front of me right now. Like,
That's what I'm saying. First is that instant gratification thing.
That's a good lesson to learn.
I think so.
Yeah. I love that.
I do like that.
But I think, too, even for families who, I mean, because some families, that might be even a stretch. Like, maybe they don't spend that much money on Christmas. You know, maybe they spend $50 on Christmas. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, even if like you're just, you know, maybe taking 25 of that and you're going to the movie. Or, you know, I don't know.
It's still,
that you don't ever get to do.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool versus.
It's still an experience, you know.
Yeah.
And you can travel local, too.
Mm-hmm.
There's things that you can do local. So you can do weekend trips. You don't necessarily have to go to Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, you don't have to go, like, far away. Because for some people, that's just not obtainable or it might not be obtainable for a long time.
Yeah.
But you could still, you know, put back $1 every.
That's why I like camping.
Yeah.
Because it's inexpensive and, you know,
so true.
You can take your stuff with you and you do cooking there and it's like bonding and, you know.
Mm-hmm. What were we saying about the camper? Like, the only thing that you spend is when you go is the food that you were already going to buy for the weekend.
In our situation, yeah, because we have a seasonal spot. So, yeah, once we've already paid our seasonal bills and stuff like that, then it's all set up and all we got to do is bring a little bit of food with us and use a little bit of propane. I mean.
I guess maybe gas to get there, but.
A little bit of gas to get there, but it's not that much.
Yeah.
So, no, it's very affordable. And then we can do mini trips to the camper at a seasonal spot over the summer. So instead of, you know, spending, you know, we spent half that much on a seasonal spot as what an average family vacation costs, but then we get to go there over and over and over and over again all summer long.
Yeah.
So then that gets you memories all summer long. Remember the summer when we went down to the campground and we went there every weekend or whatever? Yeah. I think, you know, that's a major opportunity to create, you know,
memories.
What word am I? Yeah, memories, I guess. My memory is going.
Your memory has no memories.
My memory has no memories. That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. I would love to hear like people's thoughts on this. Because I don't know. I'm always open to suggestions and ideas.
Absolutely.
Because this is something new. I mean, I not always thought this way. I mean, I used to love to spoil the snot out of Christmas at Christmas, you know? Like, you just see, like, something here and there, and you're like, oh, this is only $15. This is only $20. And then, before you know it, I get to the wrapping part, probably the night before Christmas, and I'm like, oh my God, now I have to go buy 30 more rolls of wrapping paper.
Yeah.
You know, because I didn't realize I bought all this stuff.
Well, do you remember when I took you with me to the dump when I did that clean out at that house?
Yes.
And I had to take a big giant truckload of just extra debris from a house down to the junkyard. And I took Nicole with me, and they got this thing called the slab down in Indianapolis, and it's basically a humongous pile of trash, and you take all your trash down there, and it's where you get rid of like construction debris, or you can really get rid of anything you want. So you can get rid of couches, chairs, construction material, roofing shingles, you know, whatever it is, you name it, you can get rid of it there. And it gets scooped up by like a big giant front loader, and it just gets piled up into a humongous pile. And I just remember like the look on your face. You're like, this is insane. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, this is probably only like a couple hours worth. And you were like, what? I was like, yeah, this gets much, much worse than this. This is probably just the last 2 or 3 hours. And this big gigantic pile is probably 2, 3, 4, 5 times a day, every single day. I think they're open 7 days a week, but I don't think they're open quite as long on Sundays. But I mean, it's just a never-ending constant battle, and I'm like, where are we going to keep putting this stuff?
Yeah,
sure. It's just
that's something I never like. It was very eye-opening to go.
Eye-opening.
Eye-opening, that word.
Eye-opening.
Eye-opening. Made that up. It was very eye-opening to go because I never went. I really didn't know what the process was.
That place is crazy, isn't it?
I'm pretty sure, like, I had a little twinkle in my heart. I don't know that I had a little tear in my eye, but I felt a lot of feelings because I was just overwhelmed.
You do kind of feel sad there. And you
Yeah.
look at the big giant pile, you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And that's just one little junkyard in Indianapolis. There's multiple junkyards in Indianapolis, and that's one town out of many in the U.S. And then this is going on across the whole entire globe.
Yeah, and I sat there and I was just like, because I'm anti-stuff, I've been getting rid of a lot of stuff, just throwing stuff away and getting rid of it. And
Nicole thinks she's a minimalist.
I can't say that. I definitely think that
She's trying.
what's right before a minimalist? Like
Is there a term before that?
mediumalist? Maybe I'm a minimalist.
Nicole's
I don't know.
making things up.
But I remember there was a man there at the dump, and he was trying to give me a table or something.
Yeah.
He was so sweet. He was like, "Oh, you want this?"
He goes, you want table?
And I was just like, I couldn't turn him down.
It was a clock table.
Yeah.
So it was like a little end table that had a clock in the top, and then it had like little flowers drawn on it and stuff like that. And the guy's like, "Oh, you want this? I didn't want to throw it away." And Nicole like takes it, and we get in the car, and she's like, "I didn't really want that, but I didn't want to hurt the guy's feelings."
I was like, but I don't want no more
It's
stuff.
like, if you didn't want it, you didn't have to take it. She's
But
like,
you
I
know-
didn't want to hurt his feelings.
Yeah, because he was just so happy about giving it away, and I was just like, okay.
There's probably many, many, many things there that go there like that have value every day.
Yeah.
Just end up getting scooped up and
Right.
thrown in the earth to
Yeah.
rot for the next 3,000 years.
Yeah. I don't know. I never thought about it that way because we do throw toys away. I mean, every McDonald's toy,
All that stuff.
As
Yeah.
soon as
Think
she
about
turns
all
her
this
head,
little. Yeah.
in
It
the
all
trash.
goes in the trash.
Can't stand that
I mean,
stuff.
all that stuff. I mean, it's just this constant refreshing cycle. It's like every single birthday that rolls around. Here's a bunch more crap, and then here's a bunch more crap, and here's a bunch more crap. And,
Yes.
oh, we're running around. We're running out of room. Let's throw this stuff away now. It's like,
Right. Yeah.
So,
That's true.
I'm
yeah.
just all about like, why would we not spend the money differently and try to have vacations and generate memories? And I'm telling you, when you get to the end of the road and you're on your deathbed and you're thinking back to all that stuff, that's the kind of stuff you're going to remember.
That's so true.
Not those stupid McDonald's toys that you got 40 years ago.
Yep. That is so true.
So no one's ever going to be thinking about that. Like I said, of all the things that I ever got growing up, I can only remember a radio flyer and a freaking teddy bear.
Yeah. And
And I remember my it was a regular Nintendo.
Oh.
With the power pad, and then I got the
the
gun.
orange guns?
The gun. No, I got the gray gun and I had Duck Hunt.
Fancy.
I had Duck Hunt.
Duck Hunt was the orange ones, right?
I think they were orange later. I think when they
Okay.
originally came out, I think they were gray.
Okay.
So
Look at you, fancy.
but I mean, I really can only think back to like 3 things like that I
do
really
remember Game
remember.
Boy. Yeah.
So, I mean, and if your kids are really into electronics, that's fine. Get them
Yeah,
electronics, but
yeah.
then don't get them a bunch of other crap that year. You know, be like, okay, well, this is your one big thing,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna put money in the vacation fund, and then like if you bring them into it and you make them part of it, they're gonna be, all right, yeah, let's save up, let's go somewhere. Where do you want to go? You know, and you can let the kids, be part of the decision making process, and then maybe you spend time together in the evening. Talking about and researching like on the internet, where do you want to go? What do you want to look at? What do you think about this place? What do you think about that place? And let the kids, be involved.
Which I guess that does bring cohesiveness and planning.
It does
Maybe that's
actually.
what they were talking about. Yeah, look at you discovering stuff.
Making it full circle.
I know another thing, I forgot to mention this, that I've been doing for the past 4 years for Christmas is I've been doing, I got off Pinterest, so no props to myself. But like the one thing you really want, one thing to read, one thing to wear, one thing for the family, which I usually get a board game, and then one thing to do. And that's it. So that's what I do for Christmas. So she gets like one toy that she really wants.
Oh, I'm with you. Okay.
Like an outfit usually, one board game, and then we usually get like a book. I usually get like a book collection. Right now we're doing the, what is it called? Magic Tree House. And then the fifth thing is usually something to do, like maybe a gift card to a art museum, or I don't know, whatever it might be. But I got that off of Pinterest, and I thought that was great.
That is a good one.
And
I
it's
like
kind of
that.
been working. I mean, you still find the little things, though, on the side that you're like, oh, here's a La La Loopsy doll. I don't know. You find the little,
La La Loopsy doll.
the little things on the side, and you still get them. But, yeah.
The La La
I forgot
Loopsy
about
doll.
that. That's very true.
Come and get your La La Loopsy doll today.
I don't know. Yeah, I would love to hear if anyone has any comments or any ideas, things that they do. I know that is one thing I love about the RV groups that we're on Facebook. I feel like I'm always seeing, when I go to their Facebook pages, I love seeing like posting about families and spending time.
Yeah.
I don't see as much about stuff. The only stuff things you see is like,
Well, if you're living in a travel trailer, you ain't got room for stuff.
right, yeah. But then you go on your normal Facebook page and that's where you're seeing like, oh, Joe Bob got a new bike.
Joe Bob.
You know, like, I don't know, whatever. Where we're like, look at...
Jojo Bob got a lot of loopsy doll.
I mean, whatever floats your boat, Jojo Bob.
Oh, my gosh.
You know what I'm saying? But, like...
That's hilarious.
all the things that you see, like, if you look on those versus if you look on, like, a travel family site or something.
Yeah.
You know? That just represents it right there. So it'd be cool if people would maybe post their ideas of what they do.
Yeah.
Because I've only learned from other people. I mean, I haven't. I don't know.
Yeah, so we're at what? Nomadic Traveler on Facebook? Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Nomadic Traveler.
So it's just Nomadic Traveler, not podcast, right?
No podcast. Yeah.
So Nomadic Traveler on Facebook, the Nomadic Traveler podcast, Nomadic Traveler podcast at gmail.com.
Yeah.
If you want to send us a line, send us some pictures.
Yeah.
We'd love to see what everybody does.
For sure. And if you have any, I mean, I love opposing ideas too. So if anybody's like, this is complete crap, I do this, I would love to hear that.
I love buying my kids tons of stuff.
I mean, I don't know.
And then I repurpose it to the church or something at the end. So,
yeah, I mean, maybe you do something cool.
Maybe there is, maybe there's always other ways to look at everything.
Yeah.
So
I've heard people who every Christmas, before they have Christmas, they make their kids go through all their toys and give them to like shelters.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that's kind of cool.
Bring on the opposing views.
Yeah, I love
We're
that.
open to it.
That's for sure.
All right. Hey, this ended up being a good show. I like this.
I'm glad you like it.
So, do we have a hidden gem?
We do have a hidden gem.
All right. We're going to come back in a minute with today's hidden gem. Okay, so before we do today's hidden gem, I posted on Facebook before we started recording that anybody that commented on my post from Facebook that we would shout them out on today's show. So we did get one taker. So the Facebook name is Angie Emily. So
shout out.
Shout out to Angie.
Yes, for listening and pay attention.
For listening and pay attention. And she didn't say much, but she just said, mention me. So
there you are.
What's going on, Angie?
Thanks for listening, Angie.
Tell us a little bit about you. You need to send us a little more information, and we'll do it again next time.
Maybe like what you enjoy about the show.
Yeah. What is your favorite thing about the show? Why do you listen?
Yeah.
So it said, what did it say? She said, we want live videos from Nicole.
So. Jesus. From me?
so maybe your favorite thing about the show is Nicole.
Okay, well, I'm going to be real honest. I don't have any makeup on today. So I don't know if you want a live video from me. I don't know if you want that to happen.
We'll let you do the next one.
Okay. I'll be more prepared.
Well, yeah. We'll let you do the next one.
Yeah, probably not.
I think maybe we'll try to make this a habit, and we'll try to post on Facebook every week before we start recording.
Yeah, that's what everybody recorded.
The next show.
Yeah.
So when we're getting ready to record, we'll put it on there and we'll tell everybody, and they can.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. Then they can make comments and stuff like that, and then we'll mention them in the show.
And you know that'd be fun too is we make the video and people comment, and then we don't look at it until we're actually recording live, and we have to say whatever they say. So if they comment like whatever they comment on, we got to talk about it. On the fly.
This one just says mention me, and they want you to make videos.
Okay. All right. Well.
So what? Do you have to start making a video live?
Let's
see your video, Nicole.
Like right now?
Yeah. Here, let's record it.
Okay. Well, I know a video that I want to make.
No.
Yes.
No.
So I've been telling Jason we need to make a video.
No.
About us dancing to our theme song.
No.
Because how fun is that?
Scary.
I'm all about dancing, so I'm into that. Even though I don't do it well, but it's fun. So, Angie Emily, comment if you want us to do a dancing video. Because I'll be into that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so.
All right. Okay, now this time, really, coming up next, today's Hidden Gem. All right, and now it's time for today's Hidden Gem. Today's Hidden Gem is Christmas Island, Australia. It is an external territory of Australia. Christmas Island is an eco-paradise just waiting to be explored and should definitely be on your list for 2019. It has yearly tourism figures that do not break 5 figures, so it's one of the most off-beaten places in Australia. The most famous for its 50 million red crabs that inhabit the island. Their spectacular annual migration. They have a spectacular annual migration. There is several more endemic crab, bird, and sea life species. Dolphins, whale sharks, manta rays, hundreds of fish swimming around on the 80-kilometer coastline. Add incredible walks through the island's national park, beautiful beaches, hidden caves along the coastline, and fabulous community feel created by the Australian, Malay, and Chinese residents all living in harmony, and you've got an island paradise that's just waiting to be explored. I think this place sounds amazing.
It does. It does. When I heard Christmas Island, I automatically got excited. And then I wondered.
Nicole loves Christmas.
I do. Well, then I wondered.
Perfect for our episode about materialism.
I guess it is true. Well, then I wondered why it was called Christmas Island.
Okay, why is it?
So it was actually founded by a guy named William Minors. I think that's how you say it.
Manure?
Yes, close to that. And,
Let's not go with that.
Sorry, William. So it was founded by
When was it
him
founded? What
in
year?
1643.
Yeah, William's dead. He doesn't care.
Yeah, he's gone. R.I.P.
Sorry, William's family.
But it was founded on Christmas Day.
Ah.
So that's kind of cool.
So that's where Christmas Island comes
from. And it says the population is about 1,800.
1,800.
So, yeah, not that much. And most of them live on the northern strip. So the rest of it is pretty undiscovered.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought that was awesome. So it says that kind of makes it open to more high levels of endemicism, which is a big word.
Let's look up what endemic means.
Endemic?
I'm not 100% sure what that means.
It is the ecological state of a species being unique to be in a defined area. So that means
they're like trapped on the island, basically. They're only on the island.
One way to look at it. Yeah, basically. Like you're going to go there and see animals that you're not going to see other places.
Nice.
Which is
even
awesome,
better.
Right? So that sounds like a really cool place. The caves, that sounds interesting to me too.
Yeah.
Also, I wonder if the red crabs, if that's something to do with the Christmas. Because if you think about it, if it's a green, lush island and you have all these red crabs.
Very Christmassy.
Yeah. Maybe that's why they thought of Christmas.
Yeah. I like that.
Double meaning.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
All right. So, Christmas Island, Australia. That's today's hidden gem. And now it's time for today's Don't Do That. Today's Don't Do That is brought to you by my dog, Charlie. So, our Don't Do That is we were at the campground at the Mobile Podcast Studios, hanging out. And I had my dog Charlie there with me, and we were going in and out of the camper doing things, and we just left the door open. And, my dog's pretty good normally. He won't run away, so I generally have had very few problems with him. So we left the door wide open, and we were inside working on something, and we looked over there, and Charlie kind of looked back at us. And he took like 1 foot down, and we're like, hey, don't even think about it. And he just went boom and just ran away. So I guess today's Don't Do That is going to be don't leave your door open with your dog in the camper, even if you think that he's trustworthy.
Yes.
Because that dude will surprise you.
Especially when it's his first time there.
Yeah, he ran.
Yeah.
And ran.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't even like where he ran out and just kind of like started sniffing around. He's like, boom, I'm out of here. I'm gone.
And then he kept looking back at us like,
and he kept looking back like, you stupid humans.
Well, and he's so
big. You could never compete with me. Yeah, he is big. He's about 105 pounds.
Yeah. And I kept thinking like, oh, somebody's going to see him and they're going to flip out.
Somebody's going to see him and freak out. He's going to go get into it with another dog. I mean, you never know what's going to happen. So, I mean, he's a good dog in general. I don't think he'd ever attack anybody or attack any other animals, but you just never know what's going to happen out there.
Yeah, luckily we were able to corner him.
We didn't want to get expelled from the campground. That would have been awful.
Yeah, like our second time staying.
Please don't expel us.
Or wait, was that our first night there?
That was the next day.
Yeah. But
so, that was our first time staying there, yes.
Yeah. Wow.
So, yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'd be like, oh, that'd be great. First time we're there, and Get ejected. Okay, your dog started a fight. You gotta go.
Yeah, we technically haven't even turned in the leash yet.
No, yeah.
Did you read the lease about dogs on a leash?
Yeah, right. Like, he ran away.
Whoopsies. Another thing we did last weekend that was a don't do that, if you remember, right? Do you remember the chairs?
Oh, we let them out overnight and it rained.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I didn't know it was going to rain. It wasn't really supposed to rain.
That's true.
So, yeah, but we left our chairs out all night and they got soaked. And we did not have the time to wait for them to completely dry out so we could fold them all up and put them inside the camper. You know, it's a new camper and we don't want to put wet things that could possibly mold inside the camper.
Yeah.
So we ended up having to put them in the truck and bring them all the way home. I had to unfold them in my garage and let them dry for 2 days and then fold them all up, and now they're ready to go back to the camper.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
That was another don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't leave your stuff out.
But I really didn't think it was going to rain, so. You know.
Yeah. See, when I go camping, I've always put them up, like at night.
Every night?
Every night.
I don't put them up if I'm going to be there multiple days.
I think because I think of the dew in the morning.
The do's and don'ts.
The do. The don't do that. I love puns.
The don't do that.
But yeah, I usually always put them up, but I don't know what I was thinking. Oh, they're under the awning. It'll be okay.
It'll be fine.
Yeah. Psych.
Well, poop happens, so.
That's right. So don't do that.
That's today's Don't Do That. All right, everybody, that's today's show. We'd like to thank you for listening. We appreciate everybody out there, all the listeners. We've want to do a couple little shout outs. We have a couple listeners from Canada now, so we'd like to thank the people listening up in Canada. We have a listener in Australia, and we got listeners all over the United States, with Indiana being by far the highest number of listeners that we get. So we want to thank everybody out there. Indiana is our kind of hometown state, so we'd like to thank all the locals. So please keep listening, like us, share us, leave us comments, follow us, anything that you can do. It all helps. So we appreciate you, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.